we're back to discuss X-Men Apocalypse. And if you saw our review, we're pretty mixed on it, toward the spectrum of not liking it. I actually, if I think about it, John, maybe the first 40 minutes were good, or maybe they were the best part. To me, it felt like everything up until Magneto's family died was like the slowest, most painful setting things up thing I've ever watched. Like that whole section just seems run out. I think a lot of the problem with that is that I didn't care about Apocalypse at all. Yeah. I never felt him as a threat. I thought the whole sequence at the beginning where they introduce him and then they're going back to him, and like every time Apocalypse is on screen, I checked out. Because I was like, this is just a lame-ass Scorpion King stupid movie. Yeah. Like,
it was incredibly convenient how he got like reactivated.
Yeah.
Like the CIA chick just suddenly shone some sunlight from sneaking in.
Yeah. Rose Byrne like ruins everything.
How convenient.
Which I don't think in real life, but in the movie she does. But yeah, I thought Days of Future Past did a really good job of balancing tons of characters in a fairly complex storyline and setting up into this. This felt small. It felt like a 1990s disaster movie. It felt like a tiny, tiny little movie. It didn't have the scale of Days of Future Past.
And yet, technically, it's bigger.
Technically, it's much
bigger, as in it feels smaller. I'll give you a great example. The Speedy guy.
Quicksilver,
Yeah, Quicksilver. There's this scene in Days of Future Past that it does the whole slow-mo thing, and it's actually a great part of the story as well. Whereas this one was like, hey, let's do that on steroids, but it just felt like a CG fest.
It was too long.
Yeah.
It was way
That's what I mean by bigger and yet smaller, really, you know?
Well, yeah, and I thought that the first act was slow until the third act came along, because my God. Like, that whole, like, Storm just watching. Mm-hmm. Come on! Like, Storm just watching. And Magneto's like, nope, not gonna change my mind yet.
But you know he's gonna.
Yeah, you know he's going to.
So predictable.
Like, they had the conversation about it, like 15 minutes before it happens.
Fully transfer with Charles, so I never felt that was a real threat ever.
I thought it was funny. Olivia, I think what's her name?
Olivia Munn.
Yeah, Olivia Munn. Like how she stood in every picture, in like every scene, she was just ready, and I'm like, you guys are just talking, and you're in the stance for ready to fight, like all the time. Okay, I got it. But then I feel like she maybe had like 7 lines in the entire movie.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. Like, I mean, they didn't develop her. They didn't develop Storm.
They didn't develop the other guy that had the feathers.
They developed him in other movies.
But in
the preceding movies. Yeah. But yeah, you're right.
So it was kind of like they're fighting in a cage in the beginning. They're fighting in a cage, and then he goes away, and then there's just way too much going on.
But this is I mean, in the modern series, this is the first movie with Storm, and that's the introduction they gave her. Like, she spends most of the movie just standing around and looking at things. Yeah. Like, she stands next to Apocalypse and goes,
with a weathered look on her face. Get it?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You should feel bad about that.
Talking about feeling bad, so at the end, this is spoilery. So Charles and Magneto are having this conversation, like he didn't just kill millions of people. And they're having a good old laugh about, whatever. Like, it didn't ring, like, I guess, emotionally true in any way. Towards the end, it was very kind of like wrapped up and like.
Well,
and else feel that was just a strange.
It's the same old, same old Charles and Eric. Like, I'll help you, but not really. Okay, well, bye now.
The better ending to this movie would have been Eric taking what Apocalypse did and building Genosha. That's in the comics. That would have been the perfect send-off.
I feel like they ended this movie in such a way that this was like this feels to me like it was the end of the actors' contracts for this franchise. And so if they need to make another X-Men movie and they can't get Michael Fassbender back, they can do it. if they can't get, like any actor
Options
can
open.
now be removed from the process.
Wait,
What?
are we not going to talk about the like Hugh Jackman?
Well, I was actually about to get into
Yeah.
that. One of the things I hate about the X-Men movies in general is they're wanting to shoehorn Wolverine into every single situation, which is a good chunk of the reason I hated Days of Future Past.
Well, Wolverine's the whole crux of Days of Future Past, so.
Well, not in the comic. They decided to do that for the movie, and I can't stand that they keep basing everything around Wolverine. I get it; he's a popular character, but there are other characters.
But come on, they did not base anything around Wolverine. He makes a cameo in this
Yeah,
movie.
there's a
But they shoehorn him into everything.
He makes a cameo in the movie.
I don't understand why he's the only one that's not recasted. Like,
You need to see Days of Future Past
Okay.
to understand.
And not to mention he has one more movie on his contract.
okay.
Which is why he's in this. Like, they're setting up
I know.
the final Wolverine movie, but
Got
Well,
it.
the final Wolverine movie is Old Man Wolverine, where he's like way, way, way older.
I think they're doing. I mean, I think it's. Hey, remember this cool character because
Got it, yeah.
you're going to see Hugh Jackman as Wolverine one more time. And in our timeline, it's not going to be that far away.
I hate the multiple timeline stuff, especially when I'm trying to figure out how Wolverine got back there.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So what was about the first 40 minutes did you like, John? Just the tone.
I liked the tone. I liked seeing the new characters, or some of them were old characters who were reintroduced. I think that, like in Storm in particular,
Yeah.
we saw more about Storm and her character in that first 30 seconds she was in it than we saw in the whole rest of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought that was true.
She does have more of a backstory. Honestly, it's sad. She has more of a backstory in this movie than she does in the Halle Berry version.
Yeah,
of
I
the
mean, I
character.
never thought the Halle Berry version had, even though she was fairly significant in, I think, the first and second and maybe third one, I can't remember. We never saw a whole lot about her backstory.
No,
We never
she's
really
just
saw
there.
much of a personality to her at all.
Right.
No failing on Halle Berry's part, in my opinion, but just they didn't really write that for her. I thought there was some really interesting visual things going on. Dale, I know you weren't a fan of the little prologue in the first 5 minutes, but there were several times in it. It's hard to describe, but in this movie where the way they did the visuals, I felt like I was in a ride. It was
Oh,
like
yeah.
you would be like sliding along with like this tunnel.
Are you talking about the tunnel of time where they were?
time tunnel.
There was the tunnel of time. There was the thing at the beginning where the big slab was like rolling down or sliding down the incline towards the other two slabs. There
Yeah.
was another time, I think it was when Moira
The,
went
the
into-
Egyptian rebels built impossible machines that they set
Yes.
off.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was. Yeah, and it was. I mean, it was very obviously CGI, but I thought this is some interesting visual effects that they're
I
doing
thought the
here.
pyramid thing having a built, and they knew about it, having an engineering self-destruct thing where you could stick two huge slabs down at the exact right point and they would all collapse. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't at all logical.
No,
but,
not really.
but I thought it was an interesting visual. effect.
I think that's what stuck out to me, and yes, as ungrounded as the X-Men are, I feel like the first two movies were as close to what it would feel like to have the X-Men in the real world was. And this, because of Apocalypse and because of the way they set up that prologue, every time it was like you're watching a movie. You are watching a movie.
Yeah, I get that.
That's what happened. So.
I get that. It's just a matter of if you're viewing it as a continuation of the X-Men saga, or if you're viewing it as a movie in and of itself.
And I'm just reviewing it in terms of a sequel to Days of Future Past,
Yeah.
which I was pumped for a sequel to Days of Future
Yeah.
Past, and I don't feel like this delivered.
And I think that I like Days of Future Past significantly more than this one, but I don't think I like Days of Future Past as much as you do. So,
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. That's Apocalypse. We're done talking about it. Yay! We're gonna go hang out in the rain for a while. If you like the way we do these, please like the video, subscribe, check out all the written and video reviews at DaleMaxfield.com. Thanks for watching.